Let's give it up for Ram Dass. I often get asked, what was it like being with Ram Dass? And there's many answers to that, but one of the things he did is he gifted me the name Krishna, and my partner the name Radha. Can I tell you this story briefly? I had heard from someone I was hanging out with there. I was there for like a week in 2018 recording. They said, you can ask for a name. And I was like, what? Really? They're like, yeah, if you want to. And I was like, oh, wow. So that stuck in my head. And it was the last day I was there recording, and I was like, I'm probably not going to have alone time with them again. There's always people around. This is kind of it. I was packing things up. And so I knelt down next to him on his recliner, and I just started blathering. I was like, I was hanging out with this guy, and he told me that, well, I think it's true. Well, he said that, names could be given by you, but you don't have to. I have a name, I actually have a couple names, but it's all right, But I mean, I think this is a moment that I'd like to ask. It just went on like that. And he's just nodding, He didn't say a lot because of the aphasia, but it gave him this gift of just being able to, not interrupt you. And I finished, and he didn't say anything. And he just went back to being in his recliner, kind of meditating with his beads and looking out at the ocean. And I was pretty, all up in my stuff, and just like, what an idiot I am. It's like, you have a name, dummy, and, you also have this artist name. So it's like, who do you think you are? And you need another name that's dumb. And, I went on this whole journey. 5-10 minutes, And eventually I went all the way through it, and I was like, all right, this is silly. This was amazing. I let it go. This was such a beautiful experience. And I got back into my heart. And then he just said, Krishna. And I'm so dense. I was like, what's that? And he's like, it's hard for him to speak. Krishna. And I said, you want me to get someone down the hall? I'll be right back. He's like, Krishna. I still didn't get it. And Radha says, that's your name. And it's like, and then I stopped in my tracks. I started crying. And I just bent down next to him. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Get this. And then I said, so embarrassed. Because, aphasia, it's hard to speak, his stroke, right? I didn't know if because of that he hadn't said the whole name, and maybe there was more, like a DOS or something. And I didn't want to go my whole life, and I got it wrong. And I said, just Krishna? Swear to God, that's what I said. And this time he, with a big smile, says, Krishna, and slapped his leg, and this is exactly what happened. He starts laughing. That's the laughing, because we were recording.
Okay, perfect.
And we just thought it was the funniest thing in the world. So that's one story of being there and getting the name Krishna. But I did adopt that name, and it was sort of fortunate because I was moving into this new city with Radha, and so I was meeting new people, so it was really easy to introduce myself. And they don't care, most people. And every time they would say the name, it was like a mantra coming back to me, like a little micro teaching in one word to say, who could you be in this moment if you dropped all the stories about who you think you are, and who do you want to be in this moment to this person? And I was like, God, he is so sly. Like, in one word, it's like every time I hear someone say my name, it's a calling to be something new in the moment. It's beautiful.